Rain crashed against the tall windows of a luxurious mansion as thunder echoed across the sky. In the center of the living room stood two young women who looked exactly alike. Their faces were the same, but the emotions in their eyes were very different. One was calm and confused. The other was shaking with anger and pain. This confrontation was not sudden. It was the result of many years of silence, separation, and buried jealousy. Years earlier, the twins were inseparable. They spent their childhood running through public parks, sharing secrets, laughing loudly, and dreaming without fear. They were identical in appearance, but their personalities were already beginning to form. One was gentle and quiet. The other was bold and fearless. While the girls played, their parents' marriage slowly fell apart. Arguments became frequent, and love turned into frustration. Eventually, the decision to separate was made. On the day their parents went their separate ways, the twins were split apart as well. One child went with the father, the other stayed with the mother. They promised each other they would reunite soon, but promises do not always survive reality. Tomiwa grew up with her mother in a modest home. Money was tight, and nothing came easily. From a young age, she learned how to be strong, outspoken, and independent. Every achievement felt like a battle, and every small success felt earned. Life taught her to speak up, to defend herself, and to never expect help from anyone. She loved her mother deeply, but she often wondered what her life might have been like if things had turned out differently. Temi's life followed a very different path. She lived with her father, who later married into wealth. Her home was large, her schools were private, and opportunities were always within reach. Despite her comfortable life, Temi remained soft-hearted and reserved. She rarely questioned things and trusted easily. She often thought about the sister she had lost and wished she could find her again. Years later, fate brought the twins together again at a school cultural event. At first, neither of them believed what they were seeing. The resemblance was undeniable. The reunion was emotional and overwhelming. Memories of childhood rushed back, and the bond they once shared felt alive again. For a brief moment, it seemed like the past had finally healed itself. As time passed, the differences between their lives became impossible to ignore. Tomiwa noticed the ease with which Temi moved through life. The clothes, the confidence, the connections, and the comfort all stood in sharp contrast to her own struggles. What started as quiet observation slowly turned into resentment. Tomiwa loved her sister, but jealousy crept in silently. Every success Temi had felt like a reminder of what Tomiwa believed she had lost. Temi, unaware of the growing tension, tried to rebuild their sisterhood. She wanted closeness and honesty, but Tomiwa began pulling away, becoming sharp and distant. Small misunderstandings turned into emotional distance. Unspoken feelings weighed heavily between them, creating cracks in what had once been unbreakable. One night, heavy rain flooded Tomiwa's neighborhood. Homes were damaged, streets were submerged, and fear filled the air. In the middle of the chaos, Temi showed up to help. The flood became the moment where everything broke open. Exhausted and overwhelmed, Tomiwa could no longer hide her emotions. Years of bottled-up jealousy, pain, and insecurity finally surfaced. For the first time, Temi understood the depth of her sister's struggle. And for the first time, Tomiwa admitted that her anger came from feeling left behind. As the storm passed, so did the walls between them. Temmie made it clear that she had never chosen an easier life and would trade her comfort for their lost years together. Tomiwa realized that her sister had been carrying her own loneliness all along. They couldn't change the past, but they could choose how the future would look. As the sun rose the next morning, the twins sat quietly side by side. They were still different, still shaped by separate worlds, but no longer divided by them. Two identical faces, two separate journeys, one shared story, and finally, one heart again.